99.7 FM. My name is Lexis Bill. It's another lovely Thursday evening. I look forward to these evenings. You have no idea. I look forward to these conversations on Personality Profile because I get a lot of value from it. And I'm sure you do as well. So I'm glad that you tuned in and you've joined us. We're live on Facebook as well. If you would want to go on there and share that video so a lot more people can tune in and check it out. If you want to watch it on video, you can get on Facebook as well. It's probably brought to you by Visa. I've got some real good news from Visa that I need to share with you. If you're somebody who likes extra like I do, I want extra of everything. Extra food, extra money, extra sleep. The sleep part with a capital. You know what I mean? Then I've got something exciting to share with you. It's all about extras today. Now, Visa has something extra for everyone, and I've got to tell you about it. Visa is giving away 10% extra cash back when you use your Visa card or Visa QR to shop and make payments. Yeah, 10% extra cash back. Now, this is what I call the extra of extras. Yeah, you'd want this. No need to hide and, yeah, go get it. Just go straight away and go get some extra from Visa. Now, if you want to know how you can get it, this is it. Get your Visa card when you head to the store or probably go out for a meal, visit a boutique, shop online or anywhere else that you use your card for transactions. Spend a minimum of 1,000 cedis in at least 5 transactions and pay with Visa. And you could get that 10% extra cash back. It's really that simple. So now you can spend and not be afraid to check your account balance because you know that Visa is going to give you some cash back. Yeah, it pays to spend. So go ahead. This extra is available only on Visa card. So if you don't have a Visa card and you want your own extra, go to your bank and ask for your Visa card because, of course, how you pay matters. Visit the Visa website, africa.com, for more information. Terms and conditions apply. You can also check out their social media pages, Visa_GH on Instagram and Facebook for more. Get extra with Visa. So this evening, I spent time with a statesman who is passionate about serving his people and making a change. Yeah. Now, his friends say he's affable and a very humble soul. But today we get to know that for ourselves. Yes, we get to know him a lot more for ourselves. He's worked extensively as a medical practitioner and a philanthropist. Worked with the police hospital, the VRA hospital, Pantan Psychiatry Hospital. Spent 5 years with a Fortune 500 company called Covidian. Covidian. Interesting. He will tell us about it. But now he's back to serving the people of Anyaa Sowutuom as a member of parliament. Dr. Dickson Adomako Kissi is my guest on Personality Profile. Welcome, Chairman.
Thank you.
I'm totally excited about this conversation, but I'm sure a very good friend at Access Bank is more excited.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Miss Kufo.
Yes,
yeah?
Sheila
Kufo. Regards to you, Sheila. Good to know you're tuned in. But how are you?
I'm doing very well, and I'm very happy to be here today. And I'm happy to conversate with you and discuss about me.
Yes.
More importantly, also about my concerns and how it all started.
We'll talk about literally everything, including your height, because you're a giant. No, I mean, if you haven't seen him, you need to see him. You're a big. How tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
6'3".
Yes.
You should have played some basketball or something.
I was a baller at some point.
You were?
Yes, from St. Peter's.
Wow.
And then through a bit of college.
Okay.
But then I was doing hard sciences, so I had to stop.
Yeah, you had to.
And focus.
But now, do you do any sports? Do you do any? Well,
sports, as much as I can do is maybe walk and gym a little bit.
Okay. Well, he's a giant. The pictures will not do justice to it. You need to meet him in person to see this gentle giant that we have in the studio today. I'm glad that you're here. I know you're a very busy man, and I'm happy that you're able to make time today. But what has your week been like? What have you been up to this week?
Well, this week has been quite busy. I am fortunately on the Public Accounts Committee.
Okay.
So it's like I'm doing two things, doing the parliamentary in-house work and then also going through piles of documents from one, as you call, ministry to another. So it's been quite tedious. And it's like doing a double shift, pretty much. So, but it's been very exciting in the sense that we've met numerous, chief directors, numerous CEOs of government institutions,
Yeah.
and it's been fun. I think it's been fun and also eye opening for me
Yeah.
in terms of some of the issues that have been worrying our finances as a country.
Okay.
So that's been my week, and besides that, I'm also doing a youth camp on fire prevention. We're currently this year we're trying to do 200 students.
Okay.
We've done our first 100. They finished just on Wednesday.
I saw pictures of that. That
Oh,
was
okay,
good, hey?
okay. So that has also been taking a good chunk of my time.
Okay.
Trying to, as it is, father,
Yeah.
a few youth within our.
And these are young
community.
people in your constituency?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Right.
We have 100 more to go, but we've
Wow.
just finished 100.
What's the aim of this project exactly?
Well, it's almost like a fire brigade in the community. I think over the past several years, as you know, from GRAs building catching fire and all these markets catching fire in our country, and even buses catching fire, it's been a very huge concern for me because I think almost every home in this country needs a fire extinguisher or a smoke detector, and that can alert people and get people out of their homes. If they can't even stop the fire, at least get out of their homes
Yeah.
and be safe.
Yeah.
And I quite remember both the June 3rd and then Dansuman had this incident where the home was barricaded with burglar proofing to the extent that they couldn't leave.
Yeah.
And these are stories that have stuck with me
Okay.
and inspired me to call on fire service to help train youth in fire prevention, and if not at all, they can make a change in their own homes.
Yes.
In terms of housekeeping, because housekeeping also affects the potential for fire creation. So these are things that if we can touch one home at a time,
Yes.
then we can save some lives, and lives are
Wow.
expensive. So
Very impressive. Good
yeah.
job with that.
So
Good-
that's
good
been my
job.
week.
And this schedule is totally different from what you were used to when you had the stethoscope.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And what I think is, in some ways, it prepared me for it. In some ways, too, it's actually made me more active in terms of night reading.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, our schedules. Most medical doctors don't sleep fully. I mean, they sleep with their ears because you're always waiting for your call. I mean,
Yeah.
the nurses can call you at any point in time,
Right.
and it's helped me in the sense that I do a lot more reading when everything is down and everybody.
I thought now that the schedule has changed, you would say I'm enjoying my sleep now.
No. I mean, if you want to do a good job in Parliament, it's a lot of reading. Not what we all know, which is as in being bravado and talking a lot and all that. But I think it involves a load of work you need to read and make sense, and also be able to streamline things and come out with just a few sentences
Yeah.
to make the populace understand all the jargons and loads of documents that you have to go through. So it's been an explorative sort of thing.
Face. But do you miss the stethoscope days?
Well, I haven't really put it down. Once in a
Oh, is it?
while, with this job, it's almost like the legal profession. Even in the parking lot, somebody would stop you. Excuse me to say, Doctor Mitiemia, and you never really ever stop doctoring, if I
Okay.
should say.
Okay.
And my Legon mates were saying I should give them a shout out. So medical practitioners from Legon, this is your product,
Yeah.
Dr. Kissi, saying hello to all of you medical doctors there.
Okay.
And in addition, let me just push this through once you've asked. I've always felt that we need more professionals in the legislative work, in the sense that media professionals will talk for themselves and bring on board the experience of their media life,
Yes.
so that if there are legislative work relating to, like the rights to information and all these things, then your embodiment will display. You'd add to the content. In that sense, if we have enough accountants, it will also show in our legislative work in terms of ways to help the country.
Yeah.
If we have engineers, if it's housing related issues or roads or mining, they can also bring their knowledge on board. And
true.
it will help us uplift our knowledge base in Parliament, and then also be very reflective in terms of the work we put out as parliamentarians.
I mean, now you're in the thick of it. You're even in the Public Accounts Committee, like you said. So you're really in deep.
Absolutely.
Is it like you envisioned before getting into it?
Well, I would say yes and no, because in fact, even veterans are saying that this eighth parliament is a different beast, in the sense that they've never ever. I mean, this is actually in the first time in our history where you have quote unquote an opposition figure as your, I mean, you're governing, but your speaker in parliament is the sub from a different, and everything about the eighth is something they've never seen before. This 138, 137. It's never happened in the history of Ghana, or I don't know how many parliamentaries in Africa that has this experience. So I must admit, yes, it's different from what I envisioned, and somehow it is still different from those who have been,
already been there.
They are veterans today. We had Obiamwa there, who's a veteran in Parliament, and even he. I mean, we're all trying to adjust to the new normal in terms of policies, and I think the one key thing is it's also made a case for friendship, because we need each other. We need, the others on the other aisle. We need each other. So eventually Ghana wins. Eventually Ghana wins, and I think that has been the clarion call that we collaborate and we put Ghana first in all of our decisions. So
that's really good. We'll talk more about work on that level, but let's get to know you personally.
Okay.
Where do you hail from, and who are your parents?
Okay, so my father is from Abomusu, Eastern Region, Achim. My mom is in Praiso, Kwu.
Okay.
And I'm largely Eastern Region. Let me put it that way.
So,
I mean, for us, we do the mother thing, matrilineal. May Kwu.
Kwu. Okay.
Yes. I mean, if we would say that.
Right.
And in fact, it's been fun. That was my reason for going to St. Peter's. My dad is a Santa Clausian, forgive me, but I was a little bit of a rebel in the beginning, and I didn't go to Adisadel simply, although because my dad went there. I ended up.
Had he wanted you to go there?
Well, he didn't really matter, but I think he would have wished. I mean, the whole Santa Clausian thing.
Yeah.
But I from my childhood, looking at the hours he spent, he's also a doctor, by the way.
Okay.
He's retired now. He was a surgeon. Looking at the hours he put into attending to patients and his pocket. I mean, if you think about it, I was like, Charlie, this plenty hours of work and small money, and sometimes you have to, provide food for patients and even pay their transportation home, I was always like, Charlie, this job there, Charlie, I don't think I would want to do it. And in fact, that was my reason for doing economics in my first degree, in the sense that I wanted to know more about money and how the world economic systems run, and
that's the cool part of you talking.
Well, exactly, that's my cool part, and really, so I was seriously involved in finances until I came to visit my old man in 2009, and I was like, Charlie, if I don't retire this man, he won't stop doing medicine. And that is what really touched me. And then I sort of lost my quest for cash, or as it is, my coldness dropped for that chim, maybe, if that's the appropriate thing to say. And then my world changed in terms of my perception about medicine, changed again, and then the whole idea of working to help with my God-given talent came in. And then I stopped everything I was doing in terms of my work with Covidian, which was formerly Tyco Healthcare. I think that a lot of people have heard about Tyco Healthcare more so than Covidian because of some scandals in the U.S. Several years back.
You've gone a little too
Fast.
far.
Oh boy.
Because I really would want to understand the 2009 bit.
Okay.
But
okay.
before we get there, you grew up where?
I grew up here in Accra.
Here in Accra.
I'm almost Ganyobi.
Oh.
In the sense that
Yeah.
I've known Accra. I was at Morning Star, then St. Peter's.
Then St. Peter's.
Then I at our time you had 2 years before uni because of strikes and things like that. So those 2 years I ended up in the UK, just doing Walansa as young guy. When you go to UK, you find some shop and work. At that time,
Yes.
that was 1998 ish.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's safe to say that you were from a privileged home.
Not
Is it safe to say?
necessarily. Not necessarily.
Really?
I would say that comfortable. I mean, we're very comfortable. Our parents did well. They took care of us. I mean, at least. I mean, my dad was well to do.
Yes. Our friends from back in the day who would travel to the UK to do the Walla to Wallasa, they came back with clothes. What did you come back with?
Well, at the time, I don't know even what I came back with, but yeah, certainly nice T-shirts. British T-shirts were expensive, sports T-shirts and things like that. I was still very teenish, so I mean that was my thing, but not video games. I wasn't always a big fan of video games at all.
So now all this while, you never thought of being a doctor?
I did. My dad wanted it at that point, and I was like, nah, not for that money. That was my thing, and really.
But weren't you too young to know what the level of his salary was, or how much he was earning, or
well, he had some
whether he
friends,
was affluent or not?
He had some friends who were into business, and my mother, also had uncles who were into business. My late uncles, one was a military colonel Banfo, and then one was an accountant in the UK, Uncle Charles. So I knew of other professions by virtue of my uncles and other relatives that I had. And I felt that their lives was much fun because it was less hours of work. If even not the money, it was less hours of work, and their children had more access to them, and I just didn't like the idea. I mean, he works several hours. He's up before I'm even up, and I don't see him, So that was my thing. That this kind of job I prefer, a 9 to 5, and then you're comfortable, know.
So what course did you study at St. Peter's?
I did science.
You did science.
As much as I was not for medicine, I was always still
in the sciences.
Okay. And very serious about it. I was doing tutoring in the US for chemistry, because I did chemistry as well, and then I did economics. My first 101 course in economics, I was like, Charlie, this is what I'm supposed to do, So then I took off with economics, hardcore, serious. And
that was in which school?
Brigham Young University in the US, Utah to be precise, West Coast, and I did that heavily. And finished in due time. I mean, doing 2 courses, heavy courses, like I was saying. I mean, chemistry is quite tough, and then economics. And the economics in the US heavily math. I mean, you do a lot of advanced mathematics for economics, and did all of that. And then when I finished, I fortunately landed in a job doing analysis for this company, which is a healthcare company. And even there, that is where I realized that Charlie, some medical equipment companies, their directors were making huge money as compared to doctors. I mean, and that even buttressed my whole perception, and was making it so hard for me. But like I said, I don't know if it was some sort of arrival or whatever. It was just a transition. When I saw my dad in 2009, I was like, Charlie.
So at that point, what, you came back?
I came after a long absence of almost 10 years.
And what was the mission back here?
Just to come see.
Were you coming to visit, or you were coming to stay?
Come visit. I mean, because my dad was coming quite. often to the U.S. He has other things he was doing, so he would come through. So I mean, both parents I would see from time to time. So there was no point in coming home to see your parents, really. But then in 2009, it dawned on me that may I Samu. So I had to come, and then I came, and then so in fact I must admit this. When I went back in April of 2009 and told friends that I was stopping everything and coming to Ghana, considering the job I was doing and how, quote unquote, I think well off I was.
Yeah.
It was quite crazy, and some of them thought I had gotten into trouble with immigration, which which is the usual thing. If you have some legal battles and things, you'd run away to Ghana. But then they realized that I was still coming back to the U.S. to visit. Then they're like, then this guy, he really doesn't have an issue with the American system, except for the fact that he really meant to go home. And I've enjoyed every bit of it. And I must also commend my old man. He also finished in the UK and came to Ghana to work. He's the first batch of medical students that President Nkrumah produced.
Okay.
But he came back and he said his people needed him more, which is the Ghanaian people needed him more. That was his reason for leaving the UK, and that too, I always never forgave him as a child. When as a child, I was like, Charlie, I could have been in my, London or something, enjoying life. But
you've come back to Ghana. It's going to
now I've just pretty much replicated what my dad.
So the mission and the decision to study medicine was because you
humanity. I mean, one, to retire my dad early, because I realized that if not his son, I mean, he was not going to stop work. He's currently 82, going to 83.
Okay.
And I was like, the only way to convince him that, old man, put your stethoscopes down, was if I was into medicine.
Wow.
And it worked. It worked. In fact,
how long did it take you to study?
It was a 5-year program.
A 5-year program.
Yeah.
Went through it. The whole yard.
Yes. I didn't have a choice. And I'm also happy. I mean, the Ghanaian medical school is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. So to finish Ghana Medical School, it proves that yes, the mind is right.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean. So, as for the American medical, it's also tough. But I mean, the opportunities are there for everybody, anybody, if you're very serious. But the Ghanaian Medical School, no be easy.
I can imagine. So for 5 years, you were in school. Were you doing anything alongside?
Well, alongside politics came.
Alongside politics came?
Yes.
That was when politics came?
Yes.
How did it come?
Well, I mean, I was still doing some social things while I was here, supporting, helping people in my own small way. And then my dad had also been a huge fan of Edupuahe, way back.
Yeah.
So I have that experience. I mean, my childhood would go to their rallies and things like that. And that was my real exposure to politics. And he used to also secretary for Kufuor at some point, President Kufuor, before he won the election. So though I had some politics, exposure because of my old man. And then the donations he had also made to the party locally in where we live made it so easy for me because they knew of him.
Okay.
And then once you said, it's Dr. Kissi's son, it was like they know.
It was easier.
They know, And he's always been a very powerful friend of my predecessor, Honorable Ayoko Boche. And so.
So did he suggest it?
No, I had community people, and the party chairman finally convinced me, because at that time we thought the minister was not going to contest again, only that things changed along the line. So that's how it all happened, and I've not regretted.
But why did they try to convince you? Why you?
Well, they felt I was going to be a good candidate in terms of this height thing. Politics has a lot of perceptions as part of it. Looks matter.
Okay.
Height also matter.
Wow.
and then your command over the English language, because you can't go to Parliament and then not be able to talk. If you can't vocalize, then it's a big problem.
That's a very interesting
You
thing
know,
you mentioned. That I never thought that looks ever mattered in politics.
it does.
It does.
It does. I mean, I think, I've met some women who voted for late President Rawlings, not because of party, but because
Because
the
he
color.
looked good.
Yeah, that's which I thought was a bit ridiculous, but it is the truth. So
So you also think some women voted for you because you're a dark, tall, handsome man?
well, in fact, sometimes I disappoint them because they think I'm older in my pictures, but I think, well, it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
Ghanaian women like good men, good-looking men. Let me
Yeah.
put it that way, and they have very good taste for good things.
This is a very
and
interesting
and a
revelation,
people's
actually.
a people's representative,
Yeah.
representing your area, and then also Ghana, because when you talk, I mean, who knows where you might end up? You might go representing Ghana somewhere. You should look good and represent the country very well.
Wow.
I mean,
For Dr. Adomako Kissi, the looks did the magic.
well,
Most parts.
it
It's
added,
part of it.
it added,
It added
but
to
it
yeah.
added. I think
Lots of
so.
very interesting messages coming in. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on 055 1111997. Green in Sowutuom, who's an executive member of Youth Professionals Patriot of Anyaa Sowutuom, and also from Kwewu Mpas. Says, good evening, Lexis. Dr. Adomako Kissi is a unique person I've ever met in my political journey. I'm so humbled, always ready to help. He's so humble, always ready to help, and above all, God-fearing. Okay, thank you so much. Let me see. Efo Mauli says, good evening, Lexus. I was there during the volunteer fire training. God bless him for what he's doing for us. Wow, good stuff. Okay, so now this dark, tall, handsome brother has been convinced to stand as a member of parliament, for starters, for the primaries. In 2015, you got in there very optimistic that you were going to win and you lost.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah,
That time, then fine small. You
Well,
could do a little makeup.
well, I think the woman was finer, maybe. But going by that,
So
it
that
was
was when Honorable Shirley Ayokobuchi won. She beat,
yeah,
she
by
beat you
by 39 votes
by
at
39
the time.
votes. Okay. Tell me about that experience.
Well, it was marvelous. I mean, I think in politics you never really lose. That's one thing I think I need to share with a lot of people. You never really lose. I was just recently reading about James Cameron, who was the British Prime Minister not too long ago. He had lost so many times, and it's so unfortunate. We always only see when people are on the spotlight, but people do lose. Sometimes severally. I mean, one remarkable story we can never forget is the president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. How many times did he lose? Severally. I mean, if we should start from when he lost to Kufuor to date, I mean, he lost so many times. So in politics, I don't think losing really means you've lost it all. You need to come stronger.
Yeah.
You need to persevere and continue to be a fighter.
Okay.
You know?
Let's move away from your motivational speaker speech now.
Well,
you lost that primary.
In fact,
What
2015.
caused that? Yes.
One of the things that gave me solace and was the interview I had during the vetting.
Okay.
One of the vetting committee members said, "You're a young man. You have a lot of years ahead, and really, this will help you. I mean, as you journey through to do politics." And I really think when I lost, I was like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm still young, and in fact, I wasn't a bad loser or a sore loser in the sense that for a first timer against a dinosaur colossal figure in this country, to come up to that level. I mean, I crossed over 300 votes.
Yeah.
The third person was in the 70s, which is under 100, and he was a more, let me say, more political than myself.
Yeah.
So I felt that was good. It was a positive sign.
Yeah. Now you can count the positives, but that time you passed out.
Well, I well politically yes. I mean it was a painful experience. Any
Yeah.
loss is painful. Any
But confirm,
loss.
did you pass out?
I didn't.
You didn't pass out
I didn't pass out. I don't remember that episode.
at all.
Nothing happened. There's no video of me passing out. There's actually a video that went viral when I won 2020
Okay.
of some young man lying prone, but that
Yeah.
was even not my picture.
Yeah.
That was when I had won.
So you didn't have a shock in 2015.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, 302 votes was powerful. It was a heavy load to carry, but I did not pass out. I mean, doctors, we know how to, run our body systems a little bit in terms of, if the shock would put you down, you know what to do. It needs to
So
be.
what did you do?
Well, I think in fact, some of my supporters were a bit unhappy that I was smiling. I mean, for somebody who had lost, if you see the pictures that day after the pronouncement, I was just laughing because I was like, it was still victory for me.
Okay.
In the sense that I'm a K1 in the sense that at that time, even getting 200 votes was almost like seeming impossible.
Yeah.
So when you go up against a heavy dose and you pull what you pulled, politically,
Yeah.
it was remarkable.
Well,
So
4 years later, you came back and you won.
thanks to God, yes, I did. And
What-
it was even a more tougher battle. Trust me.
Was it? Because then Honorable Shirley Ayoko Buche wasn't standing. So how was it so tough? What
It
made
was much tougher.
What made it
The
tougher?
game changes every year, in the sense that the players this time had deep,
Pockets.
pockets, and that also matters in politics. Like
does?
you were saying, you said looks matter.
Yeah.
My one of the chairmen when he was campaigning, I was saying Sikakakra.
Ahofekakra. Okay.
So let me say that there's some
Yeah.
at least you have to refresh people when you hold
Actually
meetings
read a
and things
report
like
that
that.
suggested that you spent close to 1 million CDs.
That was a hearsay.
That was a hearsay.
It was a hearsay. A miss application in terms of what I said. In
Yeah.
terms of it was what I had spent
over a period.
over a period,
Yeah.
not in a day.
But that's a lot of money to go into politics.
If you need to do good things, I mean, and I've been doing good. So it wasn't just about my political expenses, but the good things I've been doing, the humanitarian bit. So I don't know if you'd call that,
But it's all part of, building your political profile, isn't it?
I was doing all of those things and was considered to go into politics.
Okay.
So it's different. I didn't start out with politics in mind. I just
Yeah.
wanted to help my average Ghanaian, and then that call came. Let me put it that way. That man, you're doing well for the community. Can you help us in this
Yeah.
direction? So
But then
that's-
again, would you say politics is expensive?
it has become.
It has become
It has
expensive.
become. It has become. And what I've also come to notice is that if you want to push any good policy, you still, I mean, even trying to stop people from contracting COVID, we've had to spend money in the media domain. You'd think it should be easy, but any good thing you need to do, if it's not destructive, it's expensive. You have to pump and pump and pump. And for instance, today, one of the things I was telling our birth and death registry is that, listen, there's so many wrongly spelled names on birth certificates. We need to do something about that. And one thing that came out was that there should be a campaign in this country about making sure that people's names are spelled right on their birth certificate. You can imagine, I mean, how many people go back and get their birth certificates done correctly and properly. So every good thing you need to finance at some point.
But are you not worried that, like you said, politics has become expensive? Because then the assumption is that if you're going to spend this much to get into power or get a position in government, then you've got to pay yourself back.
There are two ways of looking at this. For instance, I realized that our policies were affecting me in the consulting room. Okay, what I mean by that is the legislative arm of this country, the policymakers, when they do what they do, affects all of us. I mean, when fuel prices go up, you and I would go and buy onions at a higher price, so it affects you, your meal. It does. If medications are not provided, I can't work. You can't be in a hospital without medications or the accoutrements to work with. Even if you're a good doctor, without good diagnostic, equipment, you can't work. So then I was like, listen, I really have to get in from a policy standpoint, because people have asked me this question: why quit medical practice and then do politics? And what I've said in that sense is the fact that during my medical practice, in a day, maximum of 100 people is what you attend to. But when you are doing policy work, your decision will affect several millions in this country. And that is what I pride myself with every day.
So you're
knowing,
saying that it's worth the expenses?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at what health insurance has done for this country. Look at the many lives it has saved through a decision that was implemented by President Kofo, and he will go down in our books forever.
Yeah.
As somebody who, one way or the other, has touched so many lives. Regardless of what we may say of President Akufo-Addo, for instance, the ambulance service, people who may not have been able to afford even a taxi, or let me say a whole bus, to move them from point A to point B, are enjoying the services of the National Ambulance through a good policy that has been brought about by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So what is very clear is that if you mean well for the people, you need to put your money where your mouth is.
Okay.
And I really think that it is unfortunate, but to win your legal case anywhere, if you don't pay for good lawyers, what's the crowd power here? I bet you are too.
So you articulate this so well, and of course for good measure. A lot of people in your position would as well when we ask them the motivation for going into politics. But continuously over the years, politicians have had the perception, or they look like they're in there to enrich themselves and their families. So
it's a perception that people may have. It's a perception, but I really
only a
think.
Perception?
Well, I mean, I for now I think it's a perception,
Because
and
we've seen many of them as well, who probably in a span of 4 years, they're looking good.
well, there's yes and no, in the sense that everybody has different successes. I mean, when it comes to politics, we've seen in one breath an assistant to somebody become a senior to the person. I always share the story of my boss, Pio Gabra, and our former president, in the sense that at some point in time, one was senior to the other in terms of the political layers, only for it to flip later, and his assistant becomes, quote unquote, the president.
Yeah.
So the paths vary. I am sweating because I have a big constituency of over 130,000 people. And my biggest problem is the fact that the cake is cut equal. So it doesn't matter if I'm in Sege with about 30,000 in population. You get, if it's 2 Ghana, you're being given to share for your constituency in terms of logistics and things. It's the same thing, which is I think one thing I'm pleading, and I'm hoping that eventually we can make a change to that, because the mileage is different. I have a huge problem in terms of my constituency size.
What were you hoping to do for your people? What did you promise them?
In fact, my biggest promise to Anyaa Sowutuom was that I am here to serve them. That was my biggest promise. And then in that comes our drainage issues. In that comes our road issues. I mean, our hospital has been flooded severally. So I'm in it. I'm with them. I share their pain, feel their pain, and I'm hoping that anywhere I can push that agenda,
Yeah.
that urban roads listen to us, that whoever can help us with ensure air firing, I'll push that agenda.
Because Chrissy in Santa Maria actually sent a message earlier to ask. It says, Lexis, please ask my MP what he's doing about drains in our constituency, especially the last stop area where his clinic is. You have a clinic in there.
Yeah, like I said,
Dear.
I've been flooded severally,
Yeah.
and you know,
Are you doing anything about it?
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, today I was in meetings also about this because I have to push wherever I need to push so that we can have some solution, if not a lasting solution. And I was woken up today by a call from one of our areas called Agape, which was flooded yesterday by a very small amount of rain,
Yeah.
fall, and clearly, it is their concern. It's my concern, and we all have to work together to push it. What I'm promising even now for Agape area, because of some robbery incidents, I'm pleading with the police service to help us create a post so that they can at least have some police protection or some police presence to wean off some of these crime or criminal activities in the area, and then still push the agenda for roads.
Yeah.
So in fact, if I should have what we say 1 minute with the president anytime,
Yeah.
my biggest thing will be President Pacho. If you understand,
I know,
and that is my biggest thing.
Lots of your constituents are tuned in and they're all concerned about the road. Lexis, please tell our MP that the A-Lang Road, is that it, A-Lang?
Elangawoshi,
Yes, A-Lang Road
absolutely.
needs serious fixing. You should pay
Kwashibu,
attention to the
Tabora. I mean, it's
who voted for him. Okay.
so many places.
What is that one lesson, one big lesson you've learned in this journey of politics?
It's tough, but you need to be persistent, and you need to persevere, and then also you need to think things out differently. I mean, one thing I'm pushing, and I need to say this here, our drainage issue is like an Alajo drainage issue. So I need to push it up that notch so that if we were bringing, let me say, 2 inches to solve the problem, we need to now go for like 200 inches, if you understand what I'm saying. So the story, the narrative is changing. I'm trying to make a case that we need that kind of solution that was given to Alajo. Because you and I mean, I don't know, but when I was growing up, anytime it rained and you tuned into any radio station,
Straight to
you
Alajo.
have to hear Alajo.
Yeah.
That somebody has drowned or some car is in the. But now it's something of the past. So I'm pleading with government, wherever I can, wherever I go, to tell them that, listen, we've had this issue for a long time. Maybe we need to go back to the drawing table or board and address it like an Alajo issue, where we need up to about several millions of euros or dollars to actually handle this drainage issue more carefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was trying to get some of the lessons,
For now,
you've picked up as well,
picked up.
personally.
Personally,
Yeah.
One biggest thing is you need to live and learn. It's very important. As I've gone in house, I've had to take cue from my senior members like Patrick Boama, like Osei Chimensa, and like Haruna Idrisu. I mean, as much as he's opposition, he has the experience. And you should never take experience for granted, regardless of which party the person is in. And that has been one lesson. There are a few times, occasionally, we'll talk when I chance upon him in the elevator or something like that. So I think that whatever institution you go into, it's important to have a listening mind, see how they've done it. Let me put it that way, and then follow and make it better.
What's your biggest regret?
Oh boy, biggest regret so far. So far, so far. I wish we had more seats as MPP. It's a painful experience for me. I wish we had.
I was trying to ask your personal
My
biggest regrets,
personal
but
biggest regret.
but
Oh,
you,
okay.
you, I can see you're really tuned to the politics bit.
Well,
Yeah, you're a
my,
full-blown politician, so I'm not
well,
surprised.
forgive me for that, but you know, they say ride it till the wheels fall off. So we live and learn.
Yeah.
If you're seeing challenges as stepping stones, then you don't really fault yourself too much.
Okay.
If you do, you can pick up.
Since you're still
Because
on the politics bit, let's stay there. Since
sorry,
you
I mean,
regret.
I mean, I don't know what else to say.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
It's okay.
yeah,
So,
I mean,
since you regret.
I don't regret coming back to Ghana. I mean, if that's what maybe you want me to
No,
say.
no, not at all.
Uh-huh,
Let's stay
so-
on NPP not getting more seats.
Okay.
You wish they had more seats, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, why do you think they didn't get more seats?
For me, I think we didn't talk well, communicate well about all the good initiatives that we brought in the past.
The communication was the issue.
It's part. It's part.
It's the main issue.
I think even now, I don't think.
You don't think it's because the NPP didn't perform creditably in the first 4 years?
Listen, without an iota of doubt in my mind, I think the management of this country, the best hands there is the MPP party. In the sense that we are better managers, not necessarily loose talking, better managers of the economy, but I sleep better knowing that there are good guys at the helm of affairs.
Okay.
Some communication didn't go down well. I mean, we had maybe a lot of projects, but not well broadcasted,
Okay.
which is still communication. And in Ghana, it's the one place where advertisement is pictures like 60% and then words 40, because the average Ghanaian, unfortunately, we don't pay attention to the let me say, the lyrics. I mean, you'd walk through California and there's no ad with pictures. It's numerics and words. But here, even a hospital signboard needs pictures, or else people would not. They would see hospital, but they can't read it. I mean, it doesn't go in
Okay.
until they see a picture of a nurse or a picture of a doctor or a child being immunized. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. So
you're convinced that the management of the country was perfect.
not perfect, but
but
better.
good-
And
was better.
we really were hit with. I don't like saying this, but we were hit with Corona,
Okay.
which was a devastating blow.
Right. Okay. That's fair.
From 2019 down, and that still really,
Yeah.
no matter what, whatever we do, we cannot discount the fact
That
that
fact. Okay.
Corona just messed us up.
But would you
know?
say same about the management of the country currently, presently?
We can do more? We can do better. I have to admit, we can do more. And
I'm asking because I mean, social media is agog to carry on a fix the country demonstration. The fallout of that, I mean, I don't even want to go into
Yeah.
that, but you can sense a bit of discomfort in the general atmosphere. Do you sense that?
we are pained, all of us. We wish things would be far better, but it's a dire situation. Like, the more I get involved in reading, as they say, wishes, if they were horses, beggars would ride, in the sense that, no precedent in the person of Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And quote me wherever you can. This man has struggled so much to become president. I don't think he wakes up every day or any day not thinking about his country, not thinking about making every day better than it was before. And that is what I feel within me. Granted, he has come in at a time when even America is on his knees. Or if I should say America is a female, America is on her knees. Britain is on her knees. And I'll plead with the average Ghanaian. It is a painful experience we're all going through. I wish all my youth had jobs. I really wish drivers had less, fuel expenses. I really do wish. Granted, this beast of illness, which nobody knew was coming, came through, and it's ravaged. Listen, my cousin lost his hoteling job after almost 18 years. He's been asked to go home because of what? People are not patronizing. Airlines, all of these things happen. We cannot discount that fact. It's really affected all of us. And I think that we, as Ghanaians as we are, that pain is good. We need to express it. Everybody has to express it. I mean, I have a friend who works with the beer industry. Beer drinking was reduced. You understand? Because
I get you.
funerals were not happening, engagements, catering services.
Yeah.
It is not the president, but catering services was reduced.
I understand.
No parties, no catering, or even when you're catering,
Yeah.
you say NIPA 15.
Out of
You
love
understand?
for us to delve into all of these things a lot more. Unfortunately, we're out of time.
Are we really out of
But,
time?
we actually
Are you
are.
serious? No. Somebody pushed the time. Are you
I know,
serious?
right? It's
No.
already over an hour. Yeah.
That's what they mean.
I know, right?
Hey.
But we have to.
Oh,
we have
my
to go. But
goodness.
it's been a great conversation with you.
Okay,
Honestly, I mean,
okay.
I wish we had more time, but we don't. So
Well.
maybe I'll let you give the final words to a bit of
Okay.
encouragement to the people
Okay.
before we wrap up.
Absolutely. So this is Dr. Adomako Kissi on a wonderful show by Lexis. He's been a very wonderful host. I've always enjoyed his programs,
Awesome.
and I'm here saying hello to my biggest people, Anyaa Sowutuom, who I represent, and then Ghana as a whole, and then my humble, party faithfuls and all the people within Ghana. This is Dr. Adomako Kissi, and I think without a doubt I'll have to come back.
I know, right? We need to have a part
to
two of
finish,
this
because this is
conversation.
just like I was just getting started. If this was a music
Yeah.
album, this is just the intro.
This is the intro.
So
And
Charlie
we have
Lexis,
track 2 and track 3
we
to
are
go.
in trouble. We have to come back.
Thank you so much, though.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you made time.
Yeah.
And it's time for the latest update in news, and Kojo Menu is standing by.
Joy Headline News at 8 with me, Ernest. The former Auditor General Daniel Domelevo has revealed some employees of the audit service who helped him raise issues of financial impropriety in the Crow case against the former senior minister Yao Safumafo have been demoted, with one of them